Greetings, everyone. Hey. 2727. It's 27. It's 27. February 7th. Hey, it's 27. That's our number. That was too rough. You almost hurt my wrist. This one. That's how we introduce the show. You know, it's like my son comes in the camera. He's too rough. He's strong. This boy. Hey! Greetings, everyone. We're at the top of the hour. Look, we're at the top of the hour. I made it. Oh my goodness. I was trying to get here at the top of the hour today. Like I needed to be at the top of the hour because it's Friday. And I'm thankful because of that, as well as because I can breathe. I can breathe. I can breathe. And I have a piece of aloe in my scalp right there. And it feels so soothing on my scalp. Aloe, is really good. When I broke my arm, I used it. But I have some growing hair. Aloe. Aloe is really, really a good medicinal healing. Try it. I get it from my parents' property. They grow it, and I get it, and I pick it, and I go to the bay. If you subscribe to my channel and you like this video, you get to see my journeys at the bay. And I like it, aloe, that is, because it provides this refreshing healing. I even eat some, and I take some internally as well. And you just take a piece off and have it. It's really good. So I do that, and I have gone through some things with my. Thank you for liking this video. Oh my goodness. I've gone through some things with my hair, and as a child, I had so much hair. It was just and as I grew, I did stuff to it. I even did what do they call it? Straighteners, because it was just puff, like that. So I would get relaxers to relax. To relax the kinky thing out of it. And it damaged it. And over the years, so I've had, locks. I've put locks, and it was long. It got long. So I've been through that. And now to the point of it's just basically trying to recover from all of what it's been through. So I have the aloe inside this, so I do a treatment twice a day. It's good if you're trying to do something, you do it 3 times a day, or 3 times at least. But I do it twice a day in the rise, when I take a shower, and I do that treatment for my hair, as well as I take something internally too. And it's like a biotin to strengthen, your nails and your hair. And it's working, it's really m- happening. So, oh my goodness, I didn't do the daily communication to righteousness. Today is day 37 because it's the seventh um, day. So let me get that actually. One second. Let me get the daily communication and life lessons. Okay. I have my hot tea. I just took my dog out, and it was raining outside. Um, and it wasn't that cold. Let me see what the degrees. It's 44 degrees uh, on this eastern side of the United States. And we're gonna be getting some rain. It looks like there's something moving through. Yeah, wow. It's gonna be drenching all of next strong coming up. There's gonna be some rains moving through. And possibly it might be rains moving through to get the weather to be a little warmer. That will be good. Um, so let's get into the psalm today. Oh my goodness. When I looked at the psalm this rise, it talks about something very serious. El Stephen, greetings. Good yestermorrow, sister of the brethren. Bless you. Thank you, El Stephen, for joining Chant A Psalm A Day. And joining, and liking the video and all of the good stuff and bringing good comments and insight into our relationship with that. The word. Remember the word in the beginning, that's what it was, and then it manifested. So we have to have that relationship with the word, and having that good relationship means that we take out the pronouns. Goodness. When I was teaching my oldest son to read, I took the pronouns out, and those pronouns uh, were taken out. My stomach is growling. My goodness. Drink some hot tea. So, the title of the psalm today is interesting for me because I'm dealing with something in the courts right now of man. And when I got up this rise, I saw this psalm. My life longs for the courts of righteousness. Yes, El Stephen, John 1 1. In the beginning was the word. Yes. Thank you so much. See, I like that. Thank you for joining Chant A Psalm A Day and, participating in this relationship building journey with our higher selves. And yeah, that's important. So, in the psalm today, my life longs for the courts of righteousness. And it's so very on time because, as I mentioned, I'm dealing with something in the courts of man. Grand rising, everyone. It's a beautiful Friday morning from Connie Baptiste in the room. Beautiful queen. Hey, I still owe you a call, and I know you probably like forget her, but you here, Connie. I love you. I'm writing this big grant. As soon as I turn this in, I'm telling you, I'm gonna, call you. I might even call today, Friday. Who knows? I might give you a text and call. Um, yeah, I had to call my mom the other day, like about 5 in the rise. I had to call her because she hadn't heard, and I was like, let me call her now before I get into my day and I start da 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 da. So, thank you so much for your love and for your kindness, because I'm dealing with something right now, and it's in the courts of man, and dealing with, attorneys and this and that, and filing papers to this and that, it's harassing, you know. It's quite harassing for my life, and I don't want it. So this Psalm 84 is right on time for me, because I long for the courts of righteousness, where that's all I deal with. I don't deal with, this situation that I have to deal with. L. Stephen, thank you for sharing. Yes, Connie is the moderator here. Yeah, so it's a bless to be able to long for the courts of righteousness when you're in situations that are, harassing, and are actually making your life and your financial life, rather, taking you know um a beating, because of others, choices that were not good, that now you are left holding the bag. So I want to give the bag, return this bag. I don't want to keep holding that bag. And the courts of righteousness is where I long, because I am in a world where there's wrongness.
You just said the other day. Remember you?
My son is tapping. He's
You
all.
had a
He's,
whole thing talking about file
yeah. I know. And then we're talking about this court. See, so longing for the courts of righteousness is where we need to be, and where I'm going to stay, so that I am not overwhelmed with these situations of the world. So, thank you so much. In the psalm today, and I ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of what is righteous and what is good and kind, and in that space, I don't want to be in a space of anything but that. L. Stephen is speaking to my son. Thank you, L. Stephen. I will pass that little hi on to him. Yeah. So in Psalm 84, this psalm is, hey, what is happening? This is a psalm of the sons. This is a psalm of the sons, and it's interesting. El Stephen put high sons. So this is the sons of Korah. Sons of Korah. Korah had some sons, and the sons of Korah is speaking, to the choir master, and this Psalm 84, as we, unpack it, it's 12 verses. We're going to go really fast. I'm teaching today. I teach today. I don't know, they shouldn't have a Friday class. Thank you for liking this video. But we do have a Friday class. And the Friday class starts at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. So the Psalm 84 today is like, wow. It's describing these courts of righteousness, because the court of man is, you got all kinds of stuff going on. You can get, stuff done within the courts of man when people, this person or that person, and it's who that really kind of helps in the courts of man. So it's different than the courts of righteousness, or that most, sacred, high, most high God. Um, because it's described in Psalm 84 as lovely. It's a lovely dwelling place. Okay. And the courts of man is not lovely. It's people are, taking people to court. There's a lot emotional, um, and domestic violence comes into play, and we have all these interacting relationships that, oftentimes some are not, you know, um, totally holding integrity and humility and honesty. Um, and then that is a world of man. That's a world of um, the courts of man. The judge. Finding a judge, finding an attorney, somebody who can, stamp this pay, send this thing. That those are the courts. Those are man. Those are human. Courts. And oftentimes it's influenced by people's emotions of, either hurt, betrayal. It can be a bunch of number of things. So I don't want to be in those places, of that, where I have to, you know, get my attorney on the phone and deal with this and deal with that. Who wants to do that? I would like to just hire someone to do that part and deal with all of that stuff of the courts and the attorneys and taking this and, you know, going through what I'm going through right now with, everything that I'm doing. I'm getting advice, and I'm getting people who are talking to me about what I need, um, to do, or what I need that's going to support my work. And they're sent. These are angels sent from, above in human form to speak to me. And I am going to keep longing for the courts of righteousness, because it's a lovely dwelling place, according to Psalm 84, verse 1. It's a place of hosts that are humble, kind, gracious, loving, long suffering, forgiving, honest, truthful. And it's a dwelling place that's lovely. It's a righteousness that's so sweet. You just want to be there. And that's why the title is My Life Longs for the Courts of Righteousness, longs for these spaces. And I know from experience, because I'm dealing with spaces of man-made courts and attorneys and judges and, filing this and turning this. It's just, my goodness. I thought intellectual property and copyrights and, my projects and my creations that I have to, secure was hard enough, much less having to deal with these other things. So that's why my life longs. And the theme today is about longing for righteousness. What are you hey, what are you longing for? Is it a person, or is it, sex? Is it physical? Are you longing for a companion? Are you longing to be by yourself and alone? Maybe you're in a relationship and you just want to be alone. You just want to, longing for what? There is always a something that is needed for our happiness. And oftentimes we forsake our own happiness for the good of whatever it is. Yeah, they did have a court type set up in the temple. Yeah. Yes. And you know how the story of Jesus turning up the money tables, that's an and Solomon having to, decide on a child that one woman said was hers and the other woman said was hers, but hers passed away and the other woman's child survived. And they had to go to the court to see, what is going to happen. So we do have courts, that were in such time that were there to solve the problems of humanity and problems of humanity that come out of emotional places, as the story of the woman who lost her child and took someone else's, and that's right, half a baby. Yeah, so, and that's what was decided. The judge said, we're going to cut the baby in half and give you half and give the other half. And the woman whose child it was said, no, go ahead and have the baby. And the woman whose child it wasn't was willing to let that happen. We're willing to let the child be cut in half. So that wasn't the mother, really. So that's how the judge decided. So when we look at this psalm, it speaks of this longing, and it speaks of this life longing, and it's so longing it faints for these places of these courts of righteousness. And the heart and the flesh, inside and outside, your physical being is making music and melody for joy. It's a joyous, and it's to the living. It didn't say to something dead. It said to the living God. And what is God? But righteousness. And righteousness lives because of you, because of the things you are doing towards that righteousness, and not in wrongness, So even the sparrow finds a home. And I saw some birds outside my window yesterday. And it was, they came after the rains. The rains came and wet the grass outside. And it may have lifted up some insects or something, food for the birds. So it was so many of them outside the window. And I said to my son, look, how righteousness, that is so right that they get to eat. That is the divineness of creation. And look at how that rain and that's happening. So thank you for liking the video. Thank you for joining Chant A Psalm A and listening to this translation of Psalm 84. And that living God that's mentioned in verse 2. Psalm 84, verse 2. So use that verse. Anybody talking about you serving a dead God and God dead and this and the other, and you're having moments of focusing on the death of and the crucifixion thereof. focus on that resurrection. That this is a time we need to be in of focusing on resurrection. So the whole theme today of your life and longing, it's longing to be resurrected. It's longing to be free of, the shackles that chain us to a world that is not foolproof. It's got some wrongness, it's holes in it. And the fullness of righteousness and goodness and mercy is echoed in verse 3. Even the sparrow finds a home. And as I mentioned, the birds outside my window found food after the rains. The swallow finds a nest, to lay her young. So at the places of these lovely places, dwelling places, where the righteousness is a host. That's your host. You know the hostess with the mostest? That's righteousness is that host. That righteousness and goodness. That's why you can tell when you go to someone's house if they're a host of righteousness. Are they offering you water? Are they offering you a seat? Come sit. Would you like something to eat? Would you like some tea, something to drink? They're giving you that. That is a host of righteousness, giving of themselves. So that is represented as your king and your queen. And that is your God. That is what your righteousness is. So in verse 4 now, it speaks of those are blessed that dwell in that, space. When you dwell in that house, ever chanting songs of righteousness. Exclamation mark, Selah. There's a Selah after that. My sister named her daughter Selah when she was pregnant with her daughter. She read the Psalms a lot, and she always saw Selah at the end, Selah, Selah. So she, named her that. So in this house, it speaks of the sparrow finding a home, and it speaks in verse 4 of that dwelling, those that dwell in righteousness are ever, chanting music to that righteousness, and they're ever in that space. They don't come out of that space to satisfy themselves in terms of, violence, disrespect. They're not, people say that you come out yourself. You're not, you stay in your goodness. You don't come out of it. This is what verse 4, it's ever. Verse 5, blessed are ones that have that strength that is in them. That strength is that righteousness. And in their heart is that highway to perfection, to the place of perfection. It's a highway to the place of perfection. So, and that highway is going to what is called here Zion, right? Is represented as that place. And what does that mean? How is that defined? That's what we look at. That's why there's wars, because we have so-called Zionists. I respect everybody's belief and what they feel and how they represent that. It's not to overpower anyone else. And when it does, it becomes turned into something wrong. So being free and letting others to be free is what we're building our relationship for. So that in, in verse 6, we see as ones are going through this valley, there's a place, where there's water, pools of it. The early rain, covers it with pools of water. And it speaks of this early rain. As I mentioned, it rained, and the birds were outside my window. So verse 8 and 9, the hosts, the hosts with the mostest, as I mentioned earlier, that one that is that righteousness listens to your communication to righteousness, is listening, it's giving an ear. And that one is the same one that is of Jacob, the one Jacob, served, in other words. Selah. Selah appeared again. Verse 9 now, behold, I am thy shield, O righteousness. Look on the face of righteousness is anointed. So it's no hiding. You are visible. Okay, you are visible in the courts of righteousness. So in verse 10, it speaks of for a day, one day in the courts of righteousness is better than 1,000 somewhere else. One day in the place of goodness and tranquility, calmness of mind, all of that. Even people talk about, oh, this is heaven. Yeah, one day there is better than 1,000 somewhere else. Let me tell you. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than dwell in the tents of wrongness. So I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of righteousness. There's rules for righteousness, but I would rather be in the house of that than dwell in the house of wrongness. Yes. For righteousness is a sun and shield, right? That's what it is. And it bestows favor and honor, right? You're in that space of righteousness. You are bestowed with favor and honor. And no good thing does righteousness withhold from those that walk righteously. You're not going to be withheld anything when you walk righteously, when you do the right thing. But when you hide behind people, you hide, how can righteousness find you when you're hiding? So the psalm today and the theme today of longing, who are you longing for and who are you serving? It's all the same. And hiding behind whatever and not facing the truth, not facing your behavior and your actions, you will be left without light and without right. And you will not become your full purpose because you are not receiving the light, the love, and am putting that into action. Because listening to somebody And doing is different. You can listen to me all day long, but putting it into action and building that relationship by expressing grace and kindness in your relationship with people on this earth, how can you have one with the one that is the creator of you, that is not of this world? Then you're going to perish with the world as the world is falling. So there is no good thing that is going to be withheld from those that walk uprightly. You're going to receive the goodness. No good thing is going to be withheld because you're standing in and facing the truth and the light. Because verse 9 says, "Behold our shield, O righteousness, O God. Look on the face of your anointed." The anointed's face is the face that is not afraid to face. To face. Facing the truth. Facing forward. You know, people talk about, people do things to save face. Righteousness and walking in righteousness, all good is going to come from that. The result of walking in righteousness and walking good is good things. Good things. I'm not perfect. And when I learn to remember Psalm 84, longing for the courts of higherness, righteousness, greater than the courts of this world, and the judges and attorneys and all this stuff. Greater than that is the courts of righteousness. I long for that more. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the at the house of righteousness than dwell in these wicked wrongness. You know. In verse 12, the Psalm 84 ends with, "Blessed is the one that trusts in righteousness," that trusts in the goodness and not in these man-made courts. Right? I trust in righteousness, in the goodness and grace and kindness and love of the Most High. Being in that space and trusting in that one, that all the things that are in the world, in the courts, will be handled accordingly. And I will stay in trusting the Most High. I hear the geese outside. They're flying out overhead. Yeah. On this side of the of North America, US, it's, you know, I'm on a peninsula. It's like a peninsula. It's, you know, it's got streams and rivers, and there's the ocean and there's the bay, and you know, I'm by the water. In other words, it's very powerful when I'm on this side of the world. When I'm in Texas, it's a whole different vibe. When I'm in the Virgin Islands, is a whole different vibe. So it's this triangle of travel that I end up doing. Triangle of traveling, you know, and then I'm going to the West Coast, to California soon. So, it's trusting in righteousness because there's so many things going on out here with the planes and with all these things that you have to trust in righteousness and goodness and mercy and love and long suffering and forgiveness. Trust in those, attributes, and you will build your relationship with your God, your Savior, your Lord, your Kadamawe, Haile, Selassie the first, Jesus Christ, Jehovah Jireh, however you want to call that one. That's your business. The world says this is what you got to call, this is who you got to do, this is what you got to do. And some people fall short of the glory of those things because they're serving two masters. You can't serve two. You're going to not like one and you're going to hate the next. You're going to love one and hate the next. It's going to be confusion. So, Selah and Selah again. For this Psalm today, 84, it's rocking, y'all. It's unpacking. It's got some more. It's not lacking. Okay. Um, yes. Thank you. El Stephen, thank you so much because that's the evidence again there. Number 6. That the Lord makes his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto, right? That So how is that going to happen if you're, hiding? Come come out and be of the goodness, be of the grace, be of the kindness, show that to folks. Be examples of truth and honesty. Don't hide behind things or people or, whatever. So, Psalm 84 is really, it unpacks a lot, and it takes us really to this, place of protection, because that is what is ultimately the ingredients for protection. And that's our word today, protection. So let's get the word of the day. It's the word of the day. Word of the day, hold on. It's the word of the day. It's the word of the day. It's the word of the day, word of the day, word of the day. Who you talking to? Okay, the word of the day. 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 The word of the day today is protection. Protection. Protection is the word of the day. Guess what? Righteousness is within through life's challenges. And I just talked about the courts of man and dealing with all these kind of challenges, right? Well, guess what? Righteousness is with you, even in the challenges, right? That Lord makes that face of goodness and mercy and righteousness shine upon you and is going to be gracious to you, okay? No need to worry. You're going to be okay. So, here is what the word of the day And I gotta play that song again. I gotta play that song again, y'all. It's the word of the day. 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 Word of the day. Word of the day. I'm silly, y'all. This is just something else. Okay. The words God and I are one. The words God and I are one. Righteousness and I are one. You know, you're one with that grace, with that mercy, with that love, with that kindness, with that forgiveness, with that long suffering. You one with that. You good with that. You good with being alone. You don't have to be with someone to be one with God. You one with God with you, right? So those words give us a reminder of always being enfolded in the protecting love of righteousness. When you face a difficult decision or experience trepidation or fear, pause for a moment and repeat. Righteousness and I are one. Righteousness and I are one. The act of speaking the words aloud makes them feel more powerful when you speak them aloud. Righteousness and I are one. Type it in the chat. Righteousness and I are one. Oneness with righteousness does not mean that life has no challenges now. What it means is oneness with righteousness does not mean you're not going to face challenges alone. Okay? You may have to face challenges alone. What oneness with righteousness means is the presence of righteousness within. It's within you. You are protected from what's within you, inside of you. And that is that divine guidance that puts you on a path of righteous security and safety. You're secure and you're safe. You are divinely guided on that path. You're like, how I get over this way? What am I doing here on this? You're divinely guided. And you're secure and safe. Right? Today, I give thanks for the protecting love of that righteousness, that power, that strength, that shield that enfolds and surrounds surrounds you. Look, let me tell y'all something. Righteous it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing to be able to feel good about yourself from the top of your crown to the bottom of your feet. My aloe has been sitting in my hair. It's time to come off, but look at that. L. Stephen, thank you so much. Sir Jiggy. I've been thinking about you, Sir Jiggy. Call me. How are you, Sir Jiggy? Bless you too, sunshine. So thank you, L. Stephen, for that. Yeah. So knowing that righteousness, knowing that you're going to be able to have that enfolding knowledge and protection, even when you feel alone, even when you may feel alone, okay? Guess what? Righteousness is with and within you to help you do the right thing. So, I repeat, righteousness, I am one with righteousness. I am one with God. I'm one with Jesus. I'm one with Selassie the first. I'm one with Abraham. I'm one with Moses. I'm one with the Most High. Okay? If you want to pick one of those names above all names, you go right ahead. That's your business. I can't tell you what to pick. That's your relationship, right? So that divine guidance is just what it is. It's that righteousness, it's truth. That truth, sustaining truth, it sustains in good times and difficult ones. So, righteousness, and I know this from experience when my son passed, that righteousness sustained me. It was a difficult time. It sustained me. It kept me from hurting myself, hurting other people. It just sustained me. And then my dad passed, and righteousness was still there. So it's like you can go through all these things, but that goodness and that mercy and kindness that's within you has to bubble up to the top and make itself known that it's going to be okay. So, in the word today, protection is brought to us today by Psalm 119, verse 114. Psalm 119 is one of the longest Psalms. It's got 100 verses. My daughter's calling. Hold on, yeah. We're going to do some tickets. Oops. Greetings, Fire. Hold on, baby. Okay. So that's the word today is brought to us by Psalm 119, verse 114. Righteousness is your hiding place. Remember I told y'all earlier that in Psalm 84, it talks about the face of righteousness is going to shine on the anointed. Those are the ones who stand in the good place all the time. In Psalm 119, verse 114, it says that. Don't hide. Be in the righteous place, because that's the hiding place. Staying in the righteousness, and that's your shield. That you have a future in the word, in your word, righteousness. Psalm 119 has 150 verses. Okay, hold on. I'm almost finished there with the word today is protection. Protection. So that is your protection. Yeah, it is the longest chapter. Stephen, thank you so much for commenting and sharing in my joy for the word. Yes, thank you so much. So protection is the word today. We are protected within ourselves. And once we embrace that, you are embracing that higher self, that higher power. You are becoming, one with goodness, Thank you. Don't forget your fruit. Thank you so much for joining Chant A Psalm A Day. We're actually going to transition now to the verse of the day. I have it on my phone here. The verse of the day is coming from another Psalm 97, verse 10. And I have a little intro for that verse of the day. Verse of the day. Verse of the day. Verse of the day. Verse Verse of the day. So, the verse of the day. Ah, my goodness. This ties in. This ties in. Listen, everybody. Let those who love the Lord hate evil, for the Lord guards the lives of his faithful ones and delivers them from the hand of the wicked. Boom. You find yourself, oh, Connie. Connie, I love you. You're just the best ever. The verse of the day. I gotta play that again. The verse of the day. Verse of the day. Verse. Y'all got verse me of the being day. More silly than ever. Verse. Verse of the day. Verse. Verse of the day. Oh my goodness. One of my students was laughing because they said something in class we were discussing, and I repeated what they said. And I said, drop the mic on that one. And they laughed. They said, Dr. Sue, it's just too funny. But the verse of the day today is exactly what we're talking about. You know, what Psalm 84 is talking about and what our theme is. Who are you longing for? What are you longing for? What are you longing for? Okay, what are you longing for? Who are you longing for? Long for the right, for the good things, so that you make good choices and you don't make them in this emotional state. I mentioned about the courts, in mankind courts, people in court because of all kind of stuff, right? We want to stay in the courts of righteousness. So the verse today, those who love righteousness, right? Who love goodness and everything like that, they don't love wrongness. They don't love doing the wrong thing. They do not love wrong. They love right. So let those who love righteousness despise wrongness. Like, you don't want to even play a wrong video game. You don't want that, right? So those who love righteousness is not going to be in wrongness, because righteousness is going to keep their lives. People who love righteousness, their lives is going to be kept, because of righteousness is faithful deliverance. That faithful deliverance is going to deliver from the hand of the wicked. Okay? So those that love goodness, mercy, kindness, compassion, long suffering, forgiveness, they don't hold a grudge. They don't hold past things against folks. Love doesn't hold account of that stuff. Love is what? Love is what? Righteous whatness, kindness, mercy. So let those that love righteousness despise evil, for righteousness is going to be a guard. It's going to guard. It's going to keep you right. So when you're walking down the street, you're walking good. You're going to make the right choice. Should I go this way or that way? Should I make this move or that move? You're going to know, because why? You love righteousness. You love to do the right thing. You are staying in the goodness. You are soradokna. You're doing good. And that those who are faithful in that, when you are faithful in that life, you have faith that your good works is going to, manifest, even though it's going to take some time, because what is long suffering? That is the righteousness. You may gotta suffer a little bit here, a little bit there. You might gotta pinch here, pinch there. Look at the eggs. People who eat eggs, I feel sorry for y'all, because you gotta pay $20 for eggs. Okay? Milk and all this stuff. I don't want that. I just want to plant food that I grow, and that's what I'm going to eat. You can't tell me I can't plant my food now and just eat that. Okay, I bought a case of water the other day, and I said, my goodness, I'm depending on them for water. What if they don't have water in the store? What am I gonna? Oh my gosh, I gotta start boiling water and putting it away or something in gallons. Oh, goodness. So we have to be faithful, and being faithful is being able to know that your works, what you're doing, you may not see the end of the staircase, like Martin Luther King said, but you got to keep climbing. You got to keep climbing up the stairs of righteousness. Okay? Keep climbing. And that righteousness is going to know the righteous ones, the faithful ones, and is going to deliver those faithful ones from the hand of the wicked, because they faithful, they staying in the righteousness. So when wicked come around, boom, they're going to be delivered from them. Oh, you lost a friend, sorry. Oop, she's not your friend. Oop, you lost that one. Oop, you lost this. Oh my gosh, that one gone. You're going to be delivered from the hand of the wicked. And I'm not going to sit here defining what wicked is, okay? I'm not here to judge no one's behavior and what they are and who they're going to end up in this or that. You got to deal with that. That's your relationship. When you came on this earth in from your mother's womb, right? It was you and your mama. That's who you came on this earth together with. That's why you respect your mama. That's why you see my daughter on the phone. She's getting up and calling. I got up yesterday. Call my mom. Call your mom. Your mom could be one that birthed you. Your mom could be one that borrowed you. The mom could be one that adopted you. However that is, that mom could be someone that took care of you when you was in a relationship with their mom. I don't know. Whatever. Call folks. Okay? So I love my daughter for calling me. Mwah. We're getting ready to plan another trip. Okay? We went to the Virgin Gorda Baths, y'all. All right? I told my students that yesterday. Well, not my students. I was doing a presentation and I told them about the Virgin Islands, and I had to mention the British Virgin Islands because that's right next to the Virgin Islands, but it's owned by the Crown of England. It's British, so you have to have your passport to go there. So they stamped our passport and we had a good time. So we're going on another trip. Anyway, call your mom, all right? Because of the fact that that's who you answer to. Your mom is not on the earth anymore. Guess what? Who is next after it's the Most High. That's who you answer to. And you want to be in the right space. Thank you all for liking this video. Thank you so much. That was the verse of the day. All right. We're already an hour in, y'all. Those of you just joining, thank you. Those of you who've been here for an hour, leave a comment and just fire emojis all day. I want some fire emojis in the comments. Because guess what? We are on day 37. And day 37 is about who can be against us. Who can be against us? This is Romans 8:30. When God is for us, who can be against us? So when we talk about God, we talk about righteousness. When you embrace that, ain't nothing can be against you when you stand in the righteousness. Sometimes, people lose their lives for standing up for what's right and what's truth. But once you stand up for what's right and what's truth, it's worth it. Bob Marley's birthday was yesterday. Bob Marley said, if I'm not here living for just myself, I'm not living. I'm living here for the people, for, educating the people, for uplifting the people, for, moving the people to knowledge so they can make decisions that's going to, lift up creation, not destroy it with war and fighting, and this one is superior more than that one, and all this kind of, skin color class, and this one, and all this foolishness of division. So, this is the communication to righteousness for women. It's daily. Daily communication. Daily communication. Daily communication to righteousness for women. For women. Daily communication to righteousness for women. For women. Thank you so much, El Stephen. Romans, love is the fulfilling of the law. That's what it is. All this other stuff is, I don't know what they're talking about. They want people to hate people. They set up these situations for you to hate me because I got a rap on my head. They set up situations for you to hate me because my skin color is this look is this color, and it's just crazy. And they set it up in this status of you're a custodian cleaning the school, so you're on the bottom. And the person who is the principal is on the top, right? When in fact, it should be the other way around, because the person cleaning the school is doing the work, right? The physical work and making the school look nice. So why can't they both have that same equality of status? Why one has to be lower? Why? Because it's about dividing and conquering. That's why Department of Education is getting ready to get what? Chopped apart. Like, it's crazy. It's top heavy, number one. Anyway, we're not going to go there into politics right now. We going to do what? We going to do what? It's what? It's the what? Daily communication. Daily communication. Daily communication to righteousness. For who? For women. For who? For women. For who? Daily. What? Daily communication. What? To righteousness. To who? For women. For who? For women. Okay. Okay. Heavenly Father, Blessed Mother, I am amazed at the love. I thank for loving I from the very beginning, and for promising to do so throughout eternity. Let I rest in righteousness, always reminded of the bless of being chosen as a child of righteousness. A child of righteousness. Selah and Selah again. Do we have some trolls on here? Sanders, are you being nice or not? Are you dropping some F-bombs? Not today. Not today. Selah and Selah again. That is the daily communication to righteousness for day 7. Hi, Sanders. Be nice. That's a daily communication for day 37. Yesterday, I didn't read the daily communication for day 36, so I'm going to read it real quick. It was about lift your heart up. Proverbs 17, a joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed heart dries up the bones. So don't have a crushed heart. My heart was crushed. It's okay now. So the daily communication for yesterday, it speaks of, in the past, I've seen my bitter mood or outlook manifest in maladies, whether depression, sleeplessness, or a physical illness. I also found that when I turned to righteousness in those times, I was comforted and able to begin the healing process. Grant I, all of you out there, the wise mind to know that though I may not always be satisfied or content with, good things inside my heart, I can still find joy, right? Even though I may not be satisfied with what's going on out there in the world or what's happening with me, or I'm maybe this or that, I am going to still find joy. Amen. 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 Selah, Selah, again and again. So that was day 36 and 37 for daily communication.
Daily communication. Daily communication to righteousness for women. Daily communication to righteousness for women.
Thank y'all. That was daily communication for women. Now we're going to life lessons from the ocean.
Life lessons from the ocean. Life lessons from the ocean.
Life lessons from the ocean. So today is about be choosy about where you live. Be choosy about where you live. Be choosy. Here's the picture. What are these? Barnacles. Barnacles. Barnacles start life floating helplessly among plankton. Did you know that? Changing their body shape as they grow. They are very choosy about where they settle, as an adult barnacle cannot move from its final home. The larva will drop from the water and walk around a prospective new home rock for some time until, when happy, it then cements itself upside down on the floor with its legs raised above its body, all enclosed in a case of armor that includes a trap door. It spends the rest of its life using its fine legs to catch plankton, food floating by. Look at the barnacles. Isn't that pretty cool? Did you know that about barnacles? That's a life lesson from the ocean. So be choosy about where you live. Like the barnacle, they're choosy about where they live. They for their final home because that's where they're gonna be. So that was our life lessons from the ocean.
Life lessons from the ocean. Life lessons from the ocean.
Have a blessed day, everybody. We are out of time. I got my daughter on the line. I got to go talk to my daughter on the line. Have a blessed day, everyone. Look at this. Time has gone. Another Chant A Psalm. We're going to be returning again. May the righteousness be with you. And guess what? I will be here again as the righteousness gives me strength. The blessed love. Thank you so much, Connie. Mwah. Love you all. Have a blessed day. Remember, stand in love. Don't fall in it. Oh my goodness, it's itching. This treatment with the aloe is amazing. Fare thee well, El Stephen. Have a blessed day. Remember what? Stand in love. Don't fall in it. Take good care. See you next time. I took the braids out already. I'm going to tell you about that. Talk to you later. Remember, like this video. Subscribe so you can see when I'm going live in the rise for Chant A Psalm A day. Take good care.